Hey, this is Tracy, President of Acropolis Technology Group. Today I'm going to talk about long-term managed service agreements and some of the things that you need to look out for. So at Acropolis we don't do we typically don't do long-term service agreements, but there's a couple things if you're talking to another MSP and that's something that they require. There are some pros and cons to both. One, I'm going to go through the pros. So the pro benefits and some things that you need to look out for if a managed service provider wants a long-term agreement. The pros is there's price protection. So if there's a saying, you have to give to get. If there's an MSP that wants a long-term agreement, make sure that you get some pricing protection, that they can't raise your rates on a whim, or they can't adjust them without your knowledge. Make sure that there's a structure to it that protects you over the long term. The other benefit of a long-term agreement that you can get is to make sure that you get discounts. Because if you're going to give up time and your inability to switch between providers, make sure that you get a pretty good discount, volume discount. Because if you're going to commit for 36 months, you should be able to get a pretty good deal on that. The other component is make sure that you have a clause in there that if they're just not living up to their expectation, that you can terminate the agreement for cause. Typically that is a clause in every agreement. Make sure that that benefits you and that's ironclad, because the last thing you want to do is get locked in with a bad managed service agreement that was better at sales than they are at managing your network. So those are some of the pros of a long-term agreement. Is you can get some pricing discounts, you can get some pricing protection that they can't raise your rates. So I'm going to talk about some of the cons. The cons are we all look alike. So it's pretty difficult for you to determine day one if again, like I said before, if they're better at sales than they actually are at managing your network. So unless you really feel comfortable with them and you know for sure that they have good referenceable cases, or maybe some business partners of yours already use the MSP, that you're ready to commit to them long term. Some other cons are, the industry changes a lot, technology changes a lot. So when you look at a long-term agreement, what is the real benefit of a long-term agreement? If what you're contracting for, if it's very volatile, it's going to change over the next 2 to 3 years, you want to make sure that you've got the ability to take advantage of that. And people and companies change. So you want to make sure that there's some stability there. You want to look at the track record of what is the longevity of their client base. Everybody tracks that. They should be able to tell you how long their typical client stays with them and prove it. They should also be able to tell you how long their typical employee stays with you and prove it. There's going to be a handful of people in the MSP company that is going to be very key to what it is you do. It's going to be your strategic advisor, it's going to be the leadership team, it's going to be the head of the service desk, it's going to be the team leads, it's going to be some of the veteran tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 staff. You want to really dig in and make sure that that's stable and that they're taking care of their employees, because you're going to feel the impact if it's a revolving door. Check them out on Glassdoor, check them out and make sure that they're a good place to work. If you see things that are red flags, that is going to trickle down and you're eventually going to feel the brunt of that through poor service. So those are just a couple things. Again, my name's Tracy. Reach out to any one of us. We're happy to talk through it and appreciate you taking the time.